Hi guys, welcome to another video. I'm very excited to have you guys here today in another live video. As you guys already saw in the title, we are going to be talking about the reason why Lot, who is the nephew of Abraham, moved to Sodom and Gomorrah. I was trying to say it in Spanish, I'm sorry. But yeah, guys, welcome to another live. This is going to be a very interesting live. If this is your life, I said live, sorry. If this is your first time in my channel, welcome. We do lives every Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday about the New Testament, Friday about the Old Testament. And I also have a Spanish channel. If you guys know someone who wants to learn about the Word of God and they don't know English, you can send them to that channel. It's linked to this channel as well. So yeah, in that channel I do the exact same thing, it's just that in Spanish. So we're going to be reading in this live chapter 13 of Genesis, which talks about Abraham, the separation of Abraham and Lot. Lot is the nephew of Abraham. Remember that in this part, Abraham and Lot, they just came back from Egypt. So let's read. So it says chapter 13. So Abraham went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abraham had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold. So let's remember that Lot, who is Abraham's nephew, was always with him because Lot's father died. So basically, Lot's father was Abraham's brother. So because Lot's father died, Abraham and Lot were very close because Abraham couldn't have any children. His wife, Sarah, couldn't conceive. She wasn't able to conceive children. So Lot was the closest thing that Abraham had as a child. And obviously Abraham was like the closest father figure that Lot had. So yeah, that's why they were always together. So we're gonna talk in this video about their separation, right? And we know the story of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. We're gonna be talking about that in like a few lives from now because we are reading the Bible in consecutive order. So like from Genesis 1 all the way to Revelation. So yeah, right now we're in Genesis 13. If you guys are interested in watching the past lives, where we talked about the creation of the earth, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, I invite you guys to go watch them because they're very interesting. So anyways, let's keep reading. And well, because Abraham came back from Egypt, he got a lot of livestock and wealth in Egypt. Also, he got a lot of silver and gold. So that's why he was very wealthy, obviously because he was blessed by God. That's the main reason. So it says, from the Negev, he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abraham called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abraham, also had flocks and herds and tents, but the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great and they were not able to stay together. And quarreling arose between Abraham's herders and Lot's. The Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land at that time. So basically we have two families, big families at that time, that were living there, who were the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And also Abraham and Lot were living there. And it wasn't just like a regular family. It was like a big family. There were probably like 300 people with them. So it was a lot of people, right? And then also counting the other like groups, right? The other tribes. So basically Lot had his own people, his own livestock, sheep, cows who needed to eat, right? Who needed to eat grass. And then Abraham also had his own like sheep, etc., right? They both had shepherds. So basically, Lot's shepherds and Abraham's shepherds were like fighting with each other, or not like fighting, but like discussing that there was a little bit of grass. Like there wasn't a lot of land for them because they were living together, and there wasn't a lot of grass to feed Abraham's livestock and Lot's livestock. So that's why they were always like Abraham's cattle and Lot's cattle. That's why they were always like arguing between each other, you know, the shepherds. So that's why they decided to split. So let's read what we're about to, let's read this part. Sorry. It says, so Abraham said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan toward Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So basically Lot was looking at the, let me see, I forgot, I'm sorry, at the whole plain of the Jordan toward Zoar, and he saw that it was well watered, it was green, there was a lot of grass, etc. So this was before God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, because obviously when God destroyed those two, I want to say villages, but like two towns, I want to say, and then that's when all of that land became like a desert, right? Because of the sins that was happening in there. So obviously this was before its destruction, so the cities were still existing in some way. So Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan towards Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out toward the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. So Lot was living like along the plains of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he was basically, at the end, he's gonna be living in Sodom and Gomorrah. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, look around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. So we see here that Lot parted to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? They basically, Lot and Abraham separated and they split, right? And then after Lot left, God spoke to Abraham, and he promised him that the land of Canaan he was gonna give to his offspring, to his descendants, right? So this is the promise. We're gonna see this in Exodus, right? In the book of Exodus, that how the Israelites are gonna like get to that land and live there, right? It's gonna be, yeah. So let's keep reading, because this is the first promise of God, and it's very important because Abraham trusted God, right? He says, God told Abraham, I will give this land to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go walk through the land and breathe of the land, for I am giving it to you. So Abraham went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he pitched his tents. There he built an altar to the Lord. So basically God is saying that if anyone can count the dust of the earth, then the offspring of Abraham can be counted, which is impossible, right? We can see that the offspring of Abraham is a lot. We cannot count how many there are. So this is very important for Abraham, because God promised this to Abraham. And the important part here is that Abraham believed in God. He trusted God. This is very important because as I guys already told you, Abraham didn't have any kids because his wife Sarah couldn't conceive, right? So it was very hard for him to believe that he was gonna have a great offspring, because he didn't even have one kid. So, but he still, even though this was happening, he still believed in God. So it's very important to trust God in everything that he says, right? And then Abraham thought that Lot was going to be like, that his offspring was going to be through Lot, right? Because he was the closest person that he had, the closest son figure that he had, right? Lot, which was his nephew, the son of his brother, right? So he thought that his offspring was going to come from Lot. That's why he was always bringing Lot with him everywhere. And he was kind of sad that they split, right? But God promised him that he was going to give him a great offspring. So Abraham trusted God. That's the important part. And then we're going to keep reading later on in the next live about how Abraham had his first son, etc. And how all the descendants came to be. So it's very, very interesting. This story is very interesting because it teaches us a lot of faith, a lot of trust in God. Even though sometimes we might see the situation as hard to believe, but God is always working so that he can fulfill his promise. So that's all for this live, guys. I hope you guys like this live. If you guys like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a video. And that's all for this live. I hope you guys have a great Sabbath. God bless you all. And yeah, we'll see you in the next live. Bye.